Hi everybody, welcome to Wedding Wednesday. My name is Michelle and I'm the owner of Michaela's Brides Design Studio in Hampton, Virginia. And on Wednesdays I share with you guys wedding day tips, tricks, and hacks for your big day. And today's tip, we're going to be talking about how to pick your honeymoon destination, how to find out what places to go, where to go when you get there, and how to budget for that. So we're going to cover those three things today on Wedding Wednesday. So before we jump into everything, welcome if it's your first time here. Welcome back if it's not. And if you are a bride to be, a groom to be, a bridesmaid, or if you are just in hopes of getting married one day, subscribe to our channel down below. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you'll get notified on Wednesdays when we upload. We upload every Wednesday. Granted, I took a little bit of a hiatus. It's bridal season, it's wedding season, and I needed a break so I could work. So this is our first video in a while, but typically every Wednesday at 11 a.m. new tips, tricks, and hacks will be uploaded. And if you hit the notification bell, you'll be notified so you'll know, hey, let me go watch this new episode of Wedding Wednesdays with Michelle. Okay, so if you guys follow me on Instagram or on Facebook, if you follow Michaela's Brides, you know that I just came off of a vacation. So that's how we came up with today's topic. A lot of people were asking me, how did you pick your destination and how did you find these places when you got there? So I'm going to share with you guys how to do just that. And I was traveling. It wasn't my honeymoon or anything like that. I was traveling with my husband, of course. We just wanted to go somewhere just because we all know what 2020 was. And I think the last time we traveled was in 2019 in hopes of traveling again in 2020, but we didn't. And he had this time off, so we just decided to go to New York. And we had a blast. And I'm going to tell you exactly how we planned everything out and how we budgeted everything out so we could do all the things that we wanted to do in the time frame that we had. And as well as if you don't have this exact time frame, you can use these tips and make them fit to what you can do. Don't try to duplicate this exactly. So these are just ideas on how to accomplish what works for you and what works best for the couple, or if you're traveling in a group. Of course, I'm going to be talking more towards couples because that's what my channel is geared towards, our brides and grooms. So everything that I'm going to be giving you, the information I'm going to be giving you, is for based off of two people, a group of two. So how to pick your travel destination. So this question actually comes from when I'm doing my consultations. A lot of brides, they ask me, or when I ask them, where are you guys going on your honeymoon? They're like, we can't pick, we can't decide. We don't know of a place that both of us actually want to go to. So this is what me and my husband have come up with, because my idea of a perfect vacation or honeymoon is somewhere tropical, somewhere beachy, and kind of that has a little bit of nightlife, not too late. I don't, I'm a little bit old, or I act old, and after a certain hour, I'm just ready to go home or back to my hotel. So I guess I like the idea of it, and I like going to nice restaurants and just experiencing different things. But at the end of the day, I'm just ready to go back home, put on my pajamas, or to my hotel. Oh, and that is true for me on vacation. I don't care what you saw, what you think. At the end of the night, I was back. I'm talking about showered and pajamaed up and ready to watch a movie. Because that's just something I like to do. So why not do that on vacation as well? Anyways, so how we decide on our locations now is his idea of vacation and my idea of vacation are two totally different ideas. But we just decided that we're going to kind of alternate. So this particular vacation was a place that I really wanted to go. My husband had already been to New York. I had never been. A lot of the shows that are my favorite, like my favorite shows, they're based out of New York. So, I've always seen it on TV and it always just looks so, fun. And of course, we know it's TV, it's not real. Now, I'm not talking about reality TV. I'm talking about sitcoms. Like Friends is like my favorite TV show. Sex and the City is another one of my favorite shows. I know those are all old shows. But those are my reference points for New York. So I wanted to go and see the sights. And that's exactly what we did. But we already talked about our next vacation. My husband likes things that are a lot more relaxed and kind of scenic, if that's the right word. Is that the word, scenic? Or he is more into like nature, or like almost like a camping type of experience, only we're not in a tent, like we're in a hotel, but we could go hiking if we wanted, like watch sunsets, see mountains and grass and things like that. And I'm open to that more than I was in the beginning. It's just certain things that I'm just not going to do. However, I always try at least one or two new things every time, and you'll be surprised. Certain things don't bother me the way that I imagine that it would. So our next vacation is likely going to be in the mountains somewhere, because that is the type of thing that he absolutely loves. That's what he loves. So we alternate. If we can't decide on one place, then we pick a place that I want to go. Then we pick a place that he wants to go. And sometimes, just because we are all the way deep into family life now, we are just going places because that's just where we're going already. We might have a family reunion, or something comes up for his job, or I'm going here to go to a wedding conference, and we just find things around those areas and times that we would both enjoy, and try to enjoy those small moments as well. If we can't fit in a full, 5-night, 7-night vacation, we kind of do those things in between. So anyway, that's our process. So I would say for you guys, for a couple who is on the way to going down the aisle and they're looking for a honeymoon destination, find a place. Try to just write down some places that both of you guys maybe want to visit, that you want to travel to. And if you can't agree on anywhere, literally get a coin, flip it, heads or tails, call it in the air, and go to a place that just one of you like. And then the next time you travel, it'll be the other person's turn to pick. So that's how we pick our destination. So where do you go when you get there? So this part to me is so much fun. This is not my husband's strong suit. He's just like, let's just get there and we'll figure it out. I am not that type of girl. However, I do want to mention, have yourself a plan, have yourself an itinerary or whatever, but don't send out emails about it. Don't be a buzzkill with your planning, because people, unless you guys both like that, but most people when they're on vacation, they just want to relax. They don't want to feel like they're at work. They don't want to get emails or texts about it. Just plan, but plan in some downtime and plan to do some just whatever happens. Don't over plan to the point where you are getting on people's nerves. So how did we plan our trip, and how do we find places to go? So my favorite thing, of course, is YouTube. I think a month before, I started just researching different places, and I would simply just Google stuff like, where do people go when traveling to New York? What tourist attractions are in New York? That's just, and of course you Google wherever it is that you're going, and a bunch of things will come up. And then one night we sat outside at our house and we were just like, hey, I was like, would you like to do this? Would you like to see this? Or would you like to, do a tour of this or go here or there? And, some things he was like, yes, some things I said no to. So we kind of found out which things we kind of liked, like a month before. And I think maybe 3 weeks before is when we started buying tickets to those different like tours and kind of like touristy things that we wanted to do. And just really starting to put like, okay, this day is going to be, the day that we do these 2 or 3 tours. And this day we're going to do museums. This day we're going to go here, there, so that's when we started just kind of like pinpointing exactly what days we were going to do what. But Google searches, YouTube is my favorite resource for finding things to do. I came across a channel, and I search YouTube just like I search Google. I came across a channel where it's a lady who she is from New York, and she just makes videos about all the things there are to do in New York. I mean, and she has a ton of videos. She had itineraries that you could download if you liked, like she'll like say, okay, this is for, a weekend in New York, and she'll go from Friday to Sunday, or she'll say this is for one day in New York and is geared to this specific area. So her channel was really awesome. If you're going to New York, I'll leave her channel below, because her channel really helped me find detailed information on the places that I already saw on Google that I wanted to go to. And it also told me just like, those details that you might want to know as a woman, like, okay, should I wear heels here, or should I wear flats? Should I wear sneakers? What should I wear? So that channel really helped me. And I'm sure that wherever you're going, somebody has made a video about where you're going, and use YouTube as a resource. Another thing that I absolutely love and that I always use, my sister told me about this, and now anytime we travel, we always use TripAdvisor. I downloaded the TripAdvisor app, and that it'll still give you all the same information. So whatever it is that you found out on Google, whatever you found out about on YouTube, if you search it in TripAdvisor, it will likely come up with reviews. So now it's not just based off of one individual's perspective or their review. You've got thousands of reviews, and they are current. It's never for me, anytime that I've used TripAdvisor, I've never used it and it was like a review from 2019. Like all the reviews that I saw were either from late 2020 or 2021. So that was awesome, and it gave me confidence in my plan and the places that I wanted to go. I will say this though, some people like, I'm just going to give you this instance. Like, I wanted to go to Times Square, and I would say 50 to 60% of the reviews on TripAdvisor for Times Square said that it was a horrible place. And I don't see why anyone would want to go there. But we still went, because I just like, hey, I don't see why we should go to New York and not go to Times Square. Everyone's saying how dirty it was and how trashy it was. I mean, we're just outside. I didn't have that experience. I had a ball in Times Square. So even if you see something and it has like a completely terrible review, or if the reviews are 50-50, if it's just something that you want to do, try it. What's the worst that could happen is that you don't like it, or you could absolutely love it like I did. I loved going to Times Square. We went twice. It was amazing. So what else was I going to tell you guys? Oh, budgeting. So this part, I don't want to say it's tricky, but this is just my rule of thumb, something that I have seen that works for us when we travel. I would say the first 2 big trips that we didn't necessarily budget in this way. But once I learned this method and I went back and kind of like went through what we did and how much we spent, it was about this amount. So now I will just always use this as a rule of thumb when I travel. This also depends on where you're going. If you're staying inside of the United States, you'll likely be able to use these numbers. If you're going outside of the United States, you may not, depending on where you're going. You might have to up that number. So this is the budget that we used in Hawaii and in New York. We just came from New York, but in 2019 we went to Hawaii, and this is the budget that we used. So for your hotel, you need to plan to spend, and this is based off of how many nights? Hold on. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So we left a day early, but we planned to stay, how many nights? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So we plan to stay 5 nights, leaving on Saturday, but we actually end up staying 4 nights. But this budget is based off a 5-night stay. So you want to plan to spend between $1,000 or budget for $1,000 to $1,500 for your lodging, for your hotel. This is not an all-inclusive resort or anything like that. This is just for a hotel stay, and a pretty basic one, but very nice. So one tip about finding a hotel, and this is not just based off of places that I have stayed. I used to work for a hotel chain, so I'm actually still pretty loyal. It's been some years, and I'm pretty loyal to this chain. I have found that almost anywhere you go, any Hilton brand hotel is it. Like that's just the minimum, I'll say. Like, I cannot stay somewhere that is not at least at that quality level for hotels. However, we did pick a Hilton brand hotel. It was a brand that I was not familiar with. Hilton brands are normally Embassy Suites, of course, Hilton's, Hilton Garden Inns, Hampton Inn and Suites, or just a Hampton Inn, Homewood Suites. I'm trying to think, it's another one. I think now they have Home 2. I think that's Hilton now. So usually if it has the Hilton name attached, then you're good. However, start asking this question. This is something that I'm going to start asking to save myself headache. Is, how long ago was your hotel renovated? Like, ask them, when was the last time your hotel was renovated? Because what have run into twice now, or 3 times now, what I've run into 3 times now is sticking with my brand, being loyal to my Hilton brand. That if the hotel is not newly renovated, I can't stay there. If the hotel is really old. So if someone says, oh, well, this hotel was built in, 2005, you're likely okay. It's still a great quality. The rooms aren't too dated. The carpet's not disgusting if there's carpet. A lot of hotels they don't do carpet anymore. Well, I don't say a lot. I'll say the hotels that I've experienced, they don't always have carpet anymore. Sometimes it's like hardwood or whatever it is. It's just no longer carpeted. So start asking, because some hotels, they're very old and they have not been renovated in years. And I'm talking about like 10, 15, 20 years, it hasn't been renovated. And that, for me, I'm going to stay home. If it's not a newly renovated hotel, I might as well have just stayed home. So, and that is my personal pet peeve. If I like to say that I'm just a hotel snob. So if that's not you, then you could probably find a place very easily and spend actually a little less than the budgets that I'm giving you here. But okay, so what were we talking about? So plan to spend between $1,000 and $1,500 for, like I said, your basic kind of Hilton hotel. Another brand that I actually really do like is Marriott. Marriott is, to me, just like a Hilton in most cases. We stayed at, I think, a Fairfield in New York after we went to the Hilton brand that I trusted so much, and it just wasn't newly renovated. We went and stayed at a Fairfield, and it was great. It was perfect. They had free breakfast. Most hotels do. And it was just really nice. It was just a really nice stay. And everybody was nice there. I'll say that too. Everyone was really nice at the Fairfield. Okay. So where am I going from here? So that is just your budget for a 5-night stay, like a queen bed, for 2 people, 1 room. It's not necessarily a suite. But that works for us. $1,500. max for a hotel like that. For your activities, for your daily activities, I recommend having at least $400 per day that you're going to be there. So we had planned on being there 6 days, 5 nights. Like I said, we came home a day early because we missed our kids. We were ready to come home. And we were tired. It was a lot of walking in New York. But $400 for 2 people, and that's for the couple, per day that you're going to be there. And what that includes, that will include your breakfast, gas if you're driving a car. That'll include if you're not driving and you're doing like Uber or Lyft, that's included in that. Your dinner and attraction tickets. Like if you're going somewhere and there's like a paid entry, most things that we've been to as far as like a tour or a museum, the max that we probably spent on a ticket was about, I would say, $60 per person. So that $400 a day, that includes all of that. And some people might say, you didn't say lunch. So we didn't really eat 3 times a day. I don't know about you guys, but when we're out, and we're traveling, we don't really eat 3 times a day. We'll probably eat whatever like continental breakfast the hotel might have. And then we would kind of eat lunch. We'll eat like a very light lunch, if anything. If, like I know a couple times, like we would stop at like, a coffee shop or something like that and spend, $20, $30, get us like a little, croissant or get some coffee or something like that. Especially in a place like that, because it was just so much walking. We didn't want to be like all heavy and tired from eating a whole lot. But on dinner, we really usually, that's where we spend our most money on food, is for our dinner. But if that's not you, you might want to add a little extra in there. If you say, hey, I need to eat 3 times a day, 3 really good meals, then add yourself a little extra in there. We did not do that. And we weren't, I think because too, we were just doing so many things. Our bodies weren't like telling us, hey, you're hungry, go get something to eat. We were just excited to be out and doing things that we're not normally doing. So we did not eat probably 3 times a day. I think we probably had like breakfast, a little snack, and then we ate a really good dinner every night. So that's what's included in that $400. And that's not per person, that's per couple. So per 2 people. So one thing that I did not factor in is sometimes, depending on where we're going, if we flew there, that's just where you're going. So you have to budget for that. And then sometimes when we fly, we do have to rent a car. So figure out, it's almost just like planning your wedding. Figure out how much, this is the dollar amount that we have. If it's $5,000, if it's $7,000, if it's $2,000, that's how you'll also be able to determine where you're going. Sometimes it's a good idea to do almost like what they would call a staycation. You don't have to stay at home, but you won't need to rent a car. You don't have to factor in gas or airfare to get there. So that's going to really cut down on what you spend. And then you can still just plan. Hey, plan out. This day we're going to go here. This day we're going to go, and see things that you've never seen probably in your own city, or maybe an hour away or 2 hours away. So have that maximum that you can spend, and then break it down just how I gave it to you. When we went to New York, we drove. So like I said, our gas was included in that. But once we got to New York, we did not drive our car there. We took the subway and we did like Ubers or Lyfts and things like that. So and that's just because of how that city is set up. So it just depends on where you're going. So again, just recap: $400 a day per couple, a maximum of $1,500 for a 5-night stay at your hotel. If you are flying, of course, it just depends on where you're going. One tip I do have for that though is to book your flight on a Tuesday. For whatever reason, it's usually cheaper on a Tuesday if you book your flight. Also, If you are planning to travel, don't check ticket prices. If you're planning to travel by air, don't check your ticket prices every day. And whatever, like, for instance, if me and my husband would have flown to New York, I would have checked on my phone, went to wherever, Southwest, cheaptickets.com, Delta, American Airlines, or one of those websites where you can check all the ticket prices on one. I don't know the name of those websites, but if you Google it, you'll find it. And I would have checked it and saw, okay, this is the maximum amount of money that they're charging for a ticket to my destination. And then I won't check it again until I'm ready to purchase, but I won't purchase it from my device that I checked it on the first time. If you continually check ticket prices on your phone, by the time you actually are ready to purchase, they're going to bump the price up to the maximum amount. Even if someone else could check going the same time and the same day, it would be a little less, because they know at that point you're going regardless. And you keep checking to see if it's going to get lower. It's not. So don't check airfare multiple times on your phone. Also, if you're purchasing or if you're checking on your mobile device, then buy it from your laptop. Or even if you can be logged into a different internet browser. Like, I know, like for me, like at work and at home, it's a different Wi-Fi that I'm on. So I don't know why, I don't know how it works, but I'm telling you, when I have checked multiple times every day trying to see if it goes down, and then I told my husband to check, and he might have been at work, or he checked on his phone wherever he was, it would be that first lowest price that I saw. But on my phone, it just went up every single day, higher, higher, higher. So remember that even if you're renting a car, anything that you're doing, if you check it multiple times, by the time that you're ready to purchase, it's going to be at the maximum amount. So keep that in mind. And I think that was it. Oh, recapping. YouTube. Look on YouTube for where you're going. Oh, did I say this? I can't remember this. If I did, I'll like cut it out of the first part and put it here. So no, I didn't. So when I was telling you guys about like checking YouTube and looking up YouTube channels for where you're going, as well as using tripadvisor.com, another thing that you can do, and this is like, again, all three of these, I say everything is my ultimate fave. I would not travel without doing all three of these things, but definitely this Facebook group thing is like my ultimate like connection to local people, and you get the most honest answers because these people actually live where it is that you're going. So one thing that I do now, and I found this out when I went to Hawaii, I started joining local groups in Hawaii. And I would just ask questions. I would say, hey guys, these are things that I hear I should do when I get to you, when I get to your hometown, state, wherever it is that I'm going. And what do you guys think? Give me some of your recommendations. That is the best way to find out recommendations, is by talking to real people. So I think I joined a bunch of groups when we went to Hawaii, and that's how I was able to do that stout shoot there. I found a group of wedding professionals there. We did a stout shoot. It was amazing, and we had a ball. And that is just something that I like to do. Every time I travel now at this point, I am either going to do a photo shoot myself personally, or I'm going to find someone, a local model who wants to do a style shoot, and I'm bringing a wedding dress. That is just what I'm doing. So we went to New York. I wanted pictures of me and my husband on the Brooklyn Bridge. So I got in a Facebook group and I said, hey guys, this is my idea, and I always use pictures. I screenshot pictures of what it is that the message that I'm trying to relay to people, because sometimes an image will really help people understand what it is that you're saying, just in case, your verbiage might be wrong for the area that you're going to. So I found me some pictures, said, this is what I'm trying to achieve. I need some help. Where do I go? And of course, I'm talking about within minutes, you'll have you'll have some responses, and they're usually really good. So we found us a photographer, and I told them, this is a style of photography that I like. These are our outfits. We want to do it on the Brooklyn Bridge, or you guys tell us, are there any other places that we should be considering? And we found a photographer, and I told her, I said, we are not naturally like photogenic people. Like, we need guidance. Like, if they say, okay, step right here and smile, like, I'll literally like step right there like a robot and do like this. And it doesn't look natural. But I don't want my pictures to look like they were posed, but I need guidance on how to pose. And so I found a photographer there, and she said, my style of shooting is just like, you guys are on a date and I'm just your friend taking y'all's pictures. And I was like, that's what I need. That's exactly what I need. Also, here at home, I have a favorite photographer, and I know that I don't have to give her like any direction. I just say, this is what I want. Here you go. Tell me what to do. And so she has spoiled me. And I was like, man, I just wonder how much she would charge me if she just came to take these pictures. Cause like, I don't know if y'all know, like, it's really hard to get good pictures of yourself looking natural, and they're just edited in a way that you still look like you. At least it is for me. So yeah, it was hard at first. I was thinking, man, if I do these pictures and they're not the quality that I'm used to, I'm gonna be so upset. I'm gonna be hurt, because I know where to go to get this quality of work. And if I can't get that somewhere else, then I don't want the pictures. But anyways, I found someone by using Facebook groups. So I just went to Facebook, searched, hey, New York City photographers, things like that. So I would just get in these groups, or I put in, I think one of the names of the groups is tourists in New York City or something like that. And there are a lot of locals in the group who give you ideas on where to go, and tell you how to dress, what to wear, what not to wear. I know for New York, a lot of people, they might be concerned with like theft, or like, people trying to rob you or things like that. Nothing like that happened while we were there. Like I said, that's just our experience. But they would just tell you, don't lay your stuff down and it won't get stolen. Like it was just, simple things that, I guess based off of our experiences or things that we see on TV, people might think like, oh, if you go to New York, you're just going to get robbed. It wasn't like that. At least it wasn't for us. How they say don't make eye contact with people. Yeah, they absolutely just don't like making eye contact. So don't make eye contact. I'm from, Virginia, and I guess we're kind of southern. We're still on that southern line. So when we walk past people here, we speak. When you're in New York, don't do that and you'll be fine. And I think the first day I did still speak to people. But by the second day, I had kind of taken, hey, if they're not talking to you, just don't talk to them. And it worked. And no one messed with us. And no one was mean. I'll say that. I can't say they were nice, but no one was mean. And we were minding our business. They were minding theirs. They don't care about, where you're going. They don't, sit on the subway and try to spark up conversation with people. Just mind your business. But this is just for New York. But anyways, those are the tips I have. I hope that this helps you guys in picking your honeymoon destinations. And if you've already picked it, hopefully this will help you just find some different places to go to and plan out your itinerary. Oh, and one thing I did want to say is don't plan every single day. Like the day that we travel, we just only plan dinner, and whatever else came up is what we did. Whatever we, saw that we wanted to do, that's just what we did. But we didn't necessarily plan anything that day, because we just wanted to get there, get settled, and just kind of see how we were feeling. And then we had kind of like a break in the middle where we didn't plan anything that morning, like before noon. We just kind of, ate breakfast at the hotel and just hung out, watched a little bit of TV. And then that afternoon, we went out and did what we were going to do. And our last day, of course, on your last day, or really the night before your last day, kind of, and this also depends on your age, we needed to rest. So we kind of, went to bed early that night so we could get up and pack and, not be too tired, because we were leaving one place to go pick up our kids to then drive home. So we left there at about noon, but we didn't get home till like 11 p.m. So, and it all depends on how you're traveling as well. So just plan to do all the things and see all the sights and hang out as much as possible, as well as plan some time to just relax and rest while you're on vacation. All right, guys, I will see you next Wednesday. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and share this video with a bride or groom to be.